enough finding the time to get everything done around the house, but being eco-friendly at the same time, you're thinking, oh, I wish.
Right.
Well, one Bay Area mom is making it a lot easier while relieving that mom guilt. Please welcome Kimberly Danek-Pinkson with Ecomom Alliance. Thanks so much for coming,
Hi, Kimberly.
Thank you. We're doing the green theme today, as you can see, and from the golf greens to being green at home. What is an Ecomom? Are you an Ecomom?
I'm trying to be an Ecomom. An Ecomom is someone who cares about the planet, not only from a perspective of wanting to protect the environment, but also thinking about the future of their children and other people's children, and what kind of future we're creating for future generations.
And you cared enough about that to start a whole movement, or at least an organization,
I do.
focusing on moms. Why that focus?
Well, my background in sustainability comes from an early age. I grew up with a father who has worked with indigenous peoples the world over, and a mother who's from Hungary, and so I grew up with a very global perspective. And my sister and I always joke that when other kids were going to summer camp, we were going to, Native American sweat lodge ceremonies and eating organic papaya. And so, saving the trees or the rainforest for the indigenous people was always a passion for us growing up. And then last year for World Environment Day 2006, which tomorrow is actually World Environment Day 2007 of note, I produced or co-produced an eco-chic fashion show for that the United Nations World Environment Day last year. And about 2 weeks after that, I was at a barbecue with a group of mom friends, and I overheard my name. So, if you hear your name, of course, you're like, what are they talking about? And so I tuned in, and one of the friends who had attended the event was talking about how she went home and switched out all of her light bulbs to compact fluorescents, which are much more energy efficient. And as she spoke, I heard the other moms sort of join in, and it was just such a cool moment, because literally it was like I was at the other end of the picnic table, and the conversation just took off like wildfire, and all the other moms were, what can I do? How much CO2 can I save? I want to be a part of this. And I was like sitting at the other end of the picnic table going, holy moly, the power of moms.
Yeah.
And so not only are we, so powerful as role models for the next generation, but also as a market segment, our buying power is tremendous.
Well, let's take some steps. You have the Ecomom Challenge, you have some key steps we can all take that are very simple. Can you give us some examples?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Ecomom Challenge is our first large-scale outreach program, and it's just a 10-step. We call it the 10 first steps for a sustainable future, because so often people think of it like, the planet, it's this huge, big thing. How could I really have any impact? But we really do have a huge impact, just one person. So, for example, the first step is to change a light. If every household in America were to change out just 5 of their regular use bulbs to compact fluorescents, it would be equivalent to taking 8 million cars off the road. That's huge. And it's so easy. I mean, we all go to Home Depot or Long's or some sort of store where they carry these light bulbs now, and it's a really easy change.
How long do these light bulbs last?
Those will last on average about 8 years. So they may be a little bit more expensive, although that is starting to decrease as the demand is going down. For example, this one I actually found in my local hardware store for 50 cents. So that you'll not only save fossil fuel energy resources, natural resources, but you'll also then end up saving some money on your electricity bill.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what else do you have back there?
Well, the number 2 is to drive less. I don't have a car with me today, but if another statistic that I think is just really empowering to know these types of things is that if we each drove just 10 miles less per week, it would save about 20 billion pounds of carbon dioxide emissions from going into the atmosphere. And so, 10 miles, that's so easy.
That's not much to save. I mean, we can easily cut 10 miles, right?
Absolutely. And especially with the mom demographic, we're already driving around our kids so much, so maybe that means, the difference between choosing a soccer league that's across town or right in your own neighborhood, little things like that. That makes your life easier as well. So
I wanted to talk about plastic. I know you have some plastic there. What are some rules we should plastics are probably not good at all. But I read somewhere that you should definitely never microwave plastic and all these certain things you were mentioning. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Plasticides are a major contributor to environmental degradation, not only for the planet, but also as a toxin causing disease. They're a hormone disruptor that have been affiliated with lots of different medical issues.
What's this we're looking at here?
That is a picture of this wonderful artist by the name of Chris Jordan, who's in Seattle, and that just shows how many plastic bottles end up in the landfill. I believe that one is 3 million plastic bottles end up in the landfill every single day in the United States. I think that picture is bags, if I can tell, plastic bags. And we have, and so he's just taken, 60 million plastic bags end up in landfills every 25 seconds. in our country. So by taking, like your reusable garbage bags not garbage bags, pardon me, grocery bags. This one is cell phones. Recycle your cell phones. A lot of schools actually do fundraisers that you can recycle them, and then the schools get $5 per cell phone. So there's lots of little things you can do. This is actually really interesting. This is from a company called Ecomom, and this is not plastic. It's made of cornstarch.
Wow.
And it's absolutely biodegradable. No, it's not. This cup is actually, this is so cool, this cup will biodegrade within 6 months.
Wow.
You can have it, custom made. Right now the company is called Ecomom, so you'd have to do the cups directly through them. These things are actually, so this is great for like picnics and barbecues and school lunches if you're not going to do recyclable containers. But these
that's fantastic.
Smart and Final, those are Smart and Final.
That's neat. So how many members do you have now?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know right now. We have about a couple thousand, but we've got them all over the world. It's really exciting.
So to people who say, how can one person make a difference, what would your answer? Oh, there you are with your son, right?
Yeah, that's Corbin.
So
that's my real inspiration right there.
That he is.
Yeah.
So what would your answer be to the mom who says, how can one person really make a difference?
Well, I think the statistics that I was sharing earlier, but also I think one of the things that's so important to me about this organization is realizing and educating people to the fact that it's all connected. Like what the indigenous elders have known for thousands of years, that what you do to the ocean over here is going to show up in the ocean over here. So that it's all connected, but it's not just about this, existential out there kind of global warming thing, but it's about your life. It's about taking care of you as a mother. It's about taking care of your children, so sustaining your home, sustaining yourself, sustaining your planet, that it's all connected. As for one person having an impact, I think there's this wonderful story, a woman who's a mother in Africa by the name of Wangari Maathai, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. And there's a little parable that she tells of there's a big forest fire, and all the animals are standing there kind of watching the fire, and this little hummingbird keeps flying back and forth, and they're like, what's he doing? And one of the animals finally asks him, and the hummingbird says, I'm filling my beak with water over there and helping to put the fire out. And I just think that's such a beautiful story that we really each do have the power to affect change, not only in our own lives, but on a global scale.
Well, the Ecomom Challenge, the 10 easy steps are on our website because we didn't get through all of them today. Kimberly, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ecomom Alliance.
Thank you so much.
What a great organization.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you're doing.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Okay.